I am content creator Joey Garrity. I'm the founder of Superstar Women Entrepreneurs Media Network and Joey G113. I'm dedicated to empowering women entrepreneurs to create a beautiful, personal, and professional lifestyle by spotlighting superstar tools, tips, and resources that gain them ease and grace. Every episode, myself, along with a featured guest, share our Superstar Women Entrepreneurs journey on my globally recognized show, Superstar Women Entrepreneurs Spotlight with Joey. Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm content creator Joey Garrity, and I am the host of Superstar Women Entrepreneurs Spotlight with Joey. I have an incredible guest today. I can't wait to bring her up from the green room in just a minute. But like always, because you know how I love myself, a red carpet. I want to start with some swag. So we've got some swag today. I have this beautiful notebook. It has a little bee on it, which I think is so cool, and it's so chic and cool. And inside it has different places where you can put your thoughts. And it's just really well organized. I think it's lovely. And I love this brand. It's West Emily is the brand. And so this is going to be the swag today. Towards the end of the show, I'm going to let you know how you can enter to win the swag. All right. So I've got an incredible guest today. She's so interesting what she does for a living. And so I had her have her on. And today's topic is how to rise to the top with voice actor Jodi Krangle. And Jodi Krangle, again, like super interesting what she's done, what she does for a living, is a Toronto-based voice actor and works with major brands all over the world, including Dell, BBVA, HGTV, which I love HGTV, Nespresso, Kraft, and it goes on. And she's heard in thousands of your favorite commercials and on your favorite brand websites too. Is that not so cool that she took her gifts and talents of her voice and she's turned it into her own empire? So I want to bring her up from the green room and let's say hello and let's get to know her on a deeper level. Hi,
Hello,
Jodi.
hello. Hi. I had to
Oh,
unmute myself, because that's like the problem everyone has these days.
Your voice is like so commanding.
Well, thank you. From your lips to brand ears.
I love this. I love what you do. I think it's so interesting and
Thanks.
so unique. And I read in your media kit about your story, and that's awesome. And I want to get to that because today's topic is how to rise to the top. And the reason I picked this topic, Heather, is because of your story and how you started, how you became a voice actor,
Mhm.
and yet social media hadn't been born yet. So, so let's jump in a little bit. Tell us a little bit about becoming a voice actor.
Oh, it's a long process, and it takes a while from your first demo to actually getting a job. Like it depends. Everyone has their own unique ways of getting to the end result,
Sure.
and mine started in 2007. So really, there wasn't a whole lot of social media at the time. I had a songwriting website at the time called The Muse's Muse, and it was a resource on the web. So I knew a lot about the web. I knew a lot about being on the internet, but um, my left and right brained mind kind of helped me out in that I was able to create a website for myself pretty easily. So I knew all about that. I knew about SEO. I had figured all that out. I started that website in 1995. So I've been on the web for a long time at that point. And I got bored of doing SEO. And when I get bored, things happen.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
I love that.
yeah, yeah. So I just decided it was time to do what I had always thought of doing, and I had back in 95, 96 done a year volunteering with the CNIB, which is the Canadian National Institute for the Blind,
Yeah.
and, reading magazine articles onto tape, really, that's what it was, and, I really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed the tech of it too, which kind of fed both sides of my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is so,
And
it's
yeah.
so interesting. I want everyone, you can learn more about Jodi here. I'm crawling her information. I'll also put it in the shout out so you guys can learn more about her because I just think it's so interesting. I want to jump into your superstar woman entrepreneur step into your spotlight share. Being employed is an exercise in figuring out your level of risk management. Turns out I have a pretty high tolerance for it. I love that.
Mm.
Let's talk about that because I think that's so important about rising to the top is around your level of risk management. First of all, how did you identify that? And then once you identified it, how did you keep it at ease?
Ooh, when I was going through high school, I was selling computers on the side. That's like
Oh,
computer hardware. So I very quickly wanted to be employed and then self-employed. And really, when you think about being self-employed, that is high risk right there because you're not guaranteed anything.
thanks.
That's, you're not guaranteed a particular paycheck. You're not guaranteed employment at all. You're guaranteed nothing. So you got to make what you can. And that's just the way it goes. So yeah, I would say that from the very beginning, I had known that I had a pretty high tolerance for risk because otherwise I would have just sought out the next employed job that I could get, and I wouldn't have been seeking a way out. So, yeah,
Sure, sure. Yes. I love that. That's such a,
yeah,
like, roll out the red carpet share of, like, how you're like, when I was young, I understood, which got your muscle ready for the risk, right? Then you were doing other extraordinary things, but there was a purpose for you, which was, like, probably really loud. It was call it nudging you all the time, and you're like, "You know what? I'm gonna go do this," and it's been worth the reward. It's been worth the
it
risk.
totally has. Yeah, and, I will say also that I think a lot of it has to do with our parents and what they teach us as we're growing up.
Yes.
So, my dad worked in a furniture rental store that was like they owned it. It was a family business, and they did that for a long, long time. And my mom was an interior designer, and she worked at another place for a long time, and then she went out on her own, and she had her own business, and she did interior design on her own with her own company name, and she had she had a business, she did business, she took risks. I watched her do that, and I watched her fail sometimes. She did fail every once in a while, but, that's what happens with business. So, I think what that instilled in me was, A, the idea that you could do it, and B, the idea that failure was not the end of the world, that you could fail and still pick yourself up and do something about it.
I think that's the part around the risk management as a woman entrepreneur that we need to make peace with.
Yes.
We need to make peace. I remember the moment that I made peace with it, and I just said, "You know what, Joey? You're gonna fail maybe every day." And I'm like, "And sister, make some peace with this and get to ease because it's just part of the journey."
Yeah. It's
You
a
know?
learning experience. That's how
It
you
really
learn.
is. I wouldn't turn
Yeah.
back the clock in a million years. I mean, I've worked
Mhm.
with some major, major studios, and I still love, like, some days it's a little bit of a struggle. Like, today with the technology, I was, like, getting so frustrated.
It
Before
can
I
be,
get
yeah.
on the show with you, Jody, I had to take a breath because I was just like, "Ooh," you know? I feel like I'm hanging from a cliff, right? And then I was like,
It's all
"Joey,
good.
be at ease, right? Just be at ease, right?
Deep
Be in
breathing.
gratitude right now for what you do have," you know?
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
turned things around and before you got on here. I
I'm
wanted
glad.
to ask you this, as a voice actor, what's happened for you that has surprised you?
Uh, it always kind of surprises me. I appreciate every client that I have like gold because they are outstanding, and the fact that they've chosen my voice to be a part of their project is amazing, and
Sure.
I'm always surprised. Not that they shouldn't, not that I don't think I can do this, but that, it's always a nice surprise when they think that your voice fits their brand and that that's gonna be a nice melding, and I love that. But it's just it's surprising to me that the clients that I work for appreciate what I bring to the table so much because often you're thinking as a performer that, maybe you're not as important to the end result as you think you are.
Sure.
And often it doesn't happen a whole lot anymore because I've been fighting against it for a long time with my podcast, but often I'm the last thing they think about. The voiceover that they put on their production is the last thing, the bow on the present or the icing on the cake. It's the last thing that they have to put on that production. And the 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 appreciation that I get from my clients just feeds my soul. Like, it's just that's something about this business that surprised me from the beginning, that it was such a give and take. There's so much appreciation on both our parts that it's such a wonderful melding, like a really wonderful partnership, and I love that about what I do.
I think that that's such a spotlight moment because, again, I feel like around your first share, which is excellent around really your risk management level, I think it has a lot to do with where are you gonna find the joy? Where's the juice gonna come from? Where's the
Yeah,
spark gonna come from, right?
yeah.
And for you, you're like, it's the client. You're like, when the you're like, because you understand that you're such a major piece of the big picture for them. And so I absolutely agree. And that's why I always encourage people out there, women entrepreneurs. I'm like, find even the smallest way to celebrate you and share it on social media so you can build a muscle. You can
Mhm.
build this, like, gratitude muscle, and also too, you can open doors for others to do the same. So,
Yeah. Yeah, very much so.
I want other women entrepreneurs out there to do this, to really open doors for each other because we need each other.
Mhm.
Superstar Women Entrepreneur Spotlight tip: outsourcing has seriously saved my life.
It definitely has,
Some
yes.
other people, it takes them 5 minutes. It's really cut down on my stress to allow me to get to my work. So
Yeah.
what happened for you? Because I know there's women entrepreneurs right now listening to this. What happened for you where that was the tipping point?
Well, I think that the very first thing that I really wanted to outsource, was, well, first of all, my social media. Because social media is such an all-encompassing thing these days. There are so many different places to be.
Yes.
First of all, I wanted to focus. So I'm in 3 places, and that's all that I'm at, unless you count Clubhouse, that would be a 4th. Yeah, so I wanted to focus on what I was good at, and I wanted to not have to spend every waking moment of my life on social media
Yeah.
because my life is broader than that. And,
Yes.
actual human to human contact is something that I do crave as well. So,
Yes.
you know, it's nice to be on social media and to say hello and have short chats with people that I am not seeing in person or haven't seen in a long time. But if I have the opportunity to get together with someone in real time, in real life, or if I have a chance to sit outside in our backyard with my husband and enjoy a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and just chat, that's going to be my go to all the time. And that feeds my soul in a way that being on social media kind of doesn't.
Well, I think it's so important that you bring this up for women entrepreneurs, that they understand, know thy business model, know
Yes.
thyself, know
Yeah.
thyself, right? I wrote a book, The Red Carpet Guide to Visibility Influence, and I actually do a step-by-step social media marketing campaign in there.
Mhm.
And I talk a lot about know thyself, right?
Yeah. It's
Do
super
what
important.
you love, do what you enjoy, because a happy entrepreneur makes for a happy biz, right?
Yes.
And so I encourage people out there to grab my book because it doubles as a workbook. Um, but
Yeah.
that I think is really, that's such an important aspect of who we are, right? In terms of biz, is knowing thyself. And I personally love social media. Like,
Mhm.
that's like I'm crazy about it. Right.
I
And
wouldn't be on it if I didn't enjoy it in
no, but
part,
I just mean, like,
but
I
yeah.
I mean, like you know what? It's interesting for me because it's it's really, I think it's a heartbeat for me in a weird way. Like, I like right? But there's other things I do not enjoy doing. I
Yes.
do not enjoy doing them. I don't want to do them. It slows me down. It bogs me down because the way I work is I'm a green horse. I call myself green horse. I walk fast. I work fast. I talk fast. I eat fast. Right. And if
Okay.
it's not fast, sister, guess what? It gets outsourced.
Mhm. Oh, I totally get it. I outsource my
Right?
podcast production,
Right?
because that I love doing the interviews, and I have a fantastic time with that. I love doing the recording, so I can do that no problem, but do I wanna sit and edit for 5 hours? No.
No, me
That is
either.
not yeah,
I
that
don't
is
I
not my
love the
thing.
editing process, but I don't like getting everything ready.
Yes. Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah, other
Like,
people can polish it.
yeah,
I'm
you
yeah.
like looking at it like the big picture, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
oh my god, I so get this, yes,
Yeah.
and I know there's other women entrepreneurs out there that are thinking to themselves too, um, need to hear this,
Mhm.
right? Because they're like, "Yeah, but" and I'll tell you, when you first start out, because we're all on really strict budgets when we first start out, you
Sure.
kinda have to do a lot.
And I totally did in the beginning.
Right? But I've also, read, or saw, on well, on the network, one of the content creators, they did a show, and they were like they had someone on, and she was just like she's like, "Listen, not a huge fan of this all time, but if you have to barter, barter." She's
Sure.
like, "Because you could literally close your doors if you're not happy."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh my god, it didn't even occur to me to ever barter." Like, I wish I
It's a
would've
great
known
idea.
started.
Yeah, it totally is a great idea. But if you can get someone else to do the things that you are not great at, or that if you tried to do, it would take you hours,
Yeah.
and they'll do it in 5 minutes. That's just my god, that's a revelation. I even
Right?
outsource for my voiceovers. I even outsource some of my editing for my voiceovers, my auditions, this kind of thing. If I'm rushed and I don't have time to sit down with the editing, I send it to someone who does it in 5 minutes and is fantastic and knows what he's doing, and I don't have to worry about it anymore, and it doesn't take time from my day.
No, I found someone in Canada,
Mhm.
and that's what I do now, and he's so fast, and he's awesome, and he's just
Yeah,
lovely. He's lovely, he's
yeah.
just I'm like, "I don't wanna do this part. It doesn't
Yes.
interest me," right? I love your, logo, by the way.
Thank you.
I have a question. What's been one of the challenges that you've had to overcome that was surprised you?
Uh, you know what? One of the things about being a voice talent is that it isn't about the sound of your voice. So when I am speaking, a lot of people say that they like the sound of my voice, which is very nice to hear, certainly. Lovely ego boo. However, when I'm doing a script for someone in a commercial and they want a conversational commercial or they want it to be more conversational, then my voice may not necessarily be the one that you go for immediately because it's too pretty, right? Like
Mm,
that's what happens. So I had to overcome that. That was one of the things where acting really comes in and giving yourself a pre-life and understanding what's happening in that moment and who you're talking to because you're having a conversation with someone.
yeah,
That's what anything I do is. It's a conversation with someone. They're asking questions, I'm answering the question. And I just have to make sure that I live in that answering of the question moment. And if I can do that, then I don't sound so pretty, but it sounds real. And that's kind of what you want. You want the realness. And
yeah,
that's voice acting. That's what the voice acting part is. It's being real and not just being more you. It's still you, but it's just like a slightly different version of you, you know? And I'm not putting on anything with my voice. That's not the idea. I'm not trying to be someone else. I'm just being me with enhancements.
sure, with the emotions behind it. You
Yeah.
talk about in your media kit, about being an introvert.
Mhm.
So,
Definitely.
I wanna share this because I think it's so important for other introvert women entrepreneurs that are
Mhm.
tuning in, right? Because you talk about how at the front end, you got on, like, job boards and you were so it's still a hustle,
Oh,
right?
definitely. Yeah.
So as an introvert who's which you're still hustling, how do you find the balance? Because I know there's a balance there.
Yeah, I schedule peace.
Okay. That makes
I
sense
mean,
about going in the backyard and wanting to drink your tea and stuff, I
yeah, I mean, I have to
love
do
that.
that. There are times in the day where I just have to separate myself from the computer, or even if I'm on the computer, just watch Netflix, watch a Facebook video or something silly just to distract my brain and not think about anything at the moment. If I have enough peace in between the frenetic activity, then I'm okay. I it's all about how I get my energy back. I don't start with uh, no energy. I start with a bunch of energy, and then as I go through the day, I slowly give it out to people and things and situations. And as I'm approaching the end of the day, I'm giving out my energy. It's like it's done. I need every time I have peace, I get back a little more energy.
Sure.
So extroverts have it the opposite way, right? They start with no energy, and then every
Yes.
time that they have an interaction with somebody or something or whatever, they get energy back, and that energizes them more. And, maybe they have a hard time sleeping. It's
Yes,
entirely
absolutely.
possible.
I have a
But
difficult time sleeping, yes.
yeah,
I've
so,
never been a good sleeper, ever.
yeah.
And you're absolutely right, in the morning, that's why I have to start with my daily, morning
Mhm.
practices is to get my energy up,
Yeah,
right? And then as, like, I'm talking to you and, like, I'm talking to clients, and then I'm
yeah.
talking to, like, resources, my
Mhm.
outsourcing.
Yep.
I have a team, right?
Yeah,
Right?
we need a
And I go
team.
boom, 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 boom,
Yep,
boom, right?
yep.
And then at night, it's just like I have to really watch how I'm gonna wind down again, right? So it's
Yes.
so true. That's such a big theater picture share. I love how authentic you are. I think we all need to be authentic about our business model, right?
Yeah.
The people out there are just like, "Oh, I'm more like Jodi." And that's cool, and Jodi's built an empire, I can do the same, but I need to run my own business rhythms.
Yeah, you just program in put it in your calendar that you don't have anything between this hour and this hour, and,
Yes,
you know
sister.
yeah, and
Yeah,
then you just don't make any exceptions, that's all.
yeah, and you need to do that, you need to do
Yeah,
that. I totally agree with you, that's why I don't, do the shows until, 11 o'clock my time,
sure.
right? Because I'm starting to gain my energies, right? Otherwise, let me tell you, I'd probably be like, I'd be all over the place, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wanna talk about a share of mine. I have the SWE Spotlight Biz Share with Joey. People support those that support them. Make sure to grow a robust network and spread the love.
Mhm.
I feel for women entrepreneurs, that should be a priority, like
Yeah,
top of your priority list, right?
I
It's
totally get it.
because we were introduced through Ross Brandon,
Mhm.
and Jodi did a voiceover on a show for me on 100 TV that I'm on, that I emotionally connected with Jodi because she's like, was awesome and like, you know what I mean? And then I was like, "Oh, Jodi, you're so interesting. Come on my show." Right? And that's how the wheel turns in the entrepreneur business world, huh?
Sure. Yeah, it totally does, and I mean, I've been watching some of your shows. I just saw your latest one, and oh, she was amazing.
With
That was
Nikki.
Yeah, she was
Nikki
so
Bond.
inspirational. Oh my
She's
goodness.
hilarious.
Amazing.
I
Yeah.
know, and, like, I know she's so I isn't she so interesting?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
loved her story too, how she was just like, "Oh, COVID hit. We couldn't be in the studio, in the radio studio anymore," so she's like and then she's like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna build my own influence," and boom.
Yeah.
I was
She
like,
had
"Good
all the
for you,
tools.
sister." I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. I also wanted to ask you about when when you sit with a voiceover, because I know
Mhm,
there's gonna be women out there who are gonna be doing their intro for their shows,
mhm,
their trailers, that kind of thing, right? When they reach out to you and you sit with it, what's part of your process? What's part of your process that they know so they know what they're going into? Because I think it's a little intimidating, I have to be honest, Jody. I never worked with a voice over actor,
mhm.
so I was a little intimidated.
Well, you did great, first of all.
I was I was freaking out. I was like, "I wonder if she liked my script," and
It's all fine, yeah. Um, I mean, I can help with the script a little bit because I have a podcast of my own, so I kind
you're
of
good.
understand how that should go, but, I mean, again, writing the script is not really my thing, that's, that's
Sure.
whatever people are going to pass to me, and that's totally fine. Usually, if I can hear the music first, or
Um,
if I can see a sample of their show or something like that. If I can understand their personality just a little bit so that I know what they might want their intro to sound like, because the reason that you get an intro is so that other people can say nice things about you as opposed to you saying nice things about you, right?
it's
It's
true.
kind of why you would do it. So I want to be the one to sing their praises, but I want to do it in a way that appeals to their audience and to them. So it's kind of an audio branding thing.
Yeah, it is.
And yeah, definitely hearing the music and maybe seeing a little sample of their work can be super helpful. But you know what? If that's not possible, I can just do the best I can and then see if it lands. I mean, sometimes they just pass me a script and away I go.
Well, yeah, 'cause that's your gift is that voice, right? But you asked for the music, and that was really helpful. I was like,
Mhm,
"Oh, she really cares," and it was very thoughtful, and when I got back the voiceover, I was like, "Oh, this is so clever because even the way you rhythm things,
mhm.
you rhythmed it out, right? Isn't the way I saw it, but yours was better, right? Because that's your job, right? And
Yeah.
it's like and that's how we grow. That goes back to outsourcing, doesn't it?
It totally does. I'm also a musician. I'm a singer as well. So when I see a script, for me, it's almost lyrics, almost.
Yes.
And so I can see a rhythm, I can see beats, I can see notes. Again, I don't read a note of music actually, but like when I describe this, that's how I think of it.
Sure.
And yeah, it's all about finding where the emphasis should be. And a lot of the way that I decide how it should sound is what is in the script. Because a lot of times people are very formal in a script, or they're very informal in a script, or they say something that could be a little bit of a joke or something like that. And then, I'll make it a joke. You want a joke, I'll give it to you. So yeah.
So cool. It's a again, I think what you do is so cool. It's so unique. It's
It's
so
a lot of fun, I gotta tell you. It's
I've
very
never met
creative.
another voiceover actor, so it's so unique, and I was in Hollywood for 20 years. It's
That's
just
really
makes so
surprising to
many
me.
voiceover actors in what I was in my arenas, right?
Sure, yeah,
I heard about a lot of you guys because of the commercials and stuff that my friends worked on.
sure,
And
yeah.
I was like, "Wow," I go, "Someone does a living for that?" They're like, "Yeah, they make really good money." I'm like, "Cool."
I mean, it totally can be a very good living,
It's
but
like,
yeah,
yes, it was
yeah,
awesome. I
yeah.
wanna share a bonus tip here with y'all, and it is, a spotlight, bonus tip with Joey. As you rise to the top, you'll wanna have solid biz systems in place. Make
Mhm,
sure to be organized and use resources like Trello to keep you organized and on task. I think women entrepreneurs, you can get going, but you're not organizing your systems right away, and I'm like literally like organizing like from day one.
yeah. Have an invoicing system.
Yeah,
That's
every
tip number
and
1.
you're on. Like, if you're on a radio podcast or live shows, like, start organizing them, the copy, the marketing, everything you can do in Trello, because
Mhm,
when you wanna have a media kit, which you will, right? It's already if you start having to look for things, right, it can
yeah,
exhaust you, and as
totally.
Jody was, sharing earlier, right, we only have so much energy to give out, and you don't wanna waste it on looking for things. So find a resource and listen, that's priority 2. Priority 1 is grow your network. When I hear women entrepreneurs tell me they don't have time for that, I said, "You can't build an empire without growing a huge, huge, huge network."
Mhm, yeah,
Truth,
it really
right,
does help. Yeah,
sister?
helps a lot.
Yeah, it helps a lot, right?
Mhm.
I so appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. This is
Jody.
great.
I'm so glad that we've gotten to know each other and we're continuing to build a relationship out.
Mhm,
Very
yeah.
cool. It's
I'm
very
hoping to see you in person at PodFest. We'll see if that happens.
oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. We're gonna be there. We're gonna go and grab
Oh,
some
good.
coffee together.
Good. Awesome.
Anyone else that comes to podcast, come and meet Jodi and I.
I look forward to it.
That would be so cool. Thank you, Jodi. I'm gonna
Yeah,
drop you down in the green room.
thanks.
I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, and I appreciate
Mwah.
you so. Isn't she cool? She's cool. What she does, you guys, is cool. And you need a voiceover, do it with Jodi. She's so professional. When I got my back, I was like, I was like blown away. It is so neat what she does. And she's lovely. She's so lovely. And we both go to Podfest every year. And so see us at Podfest for sure. A couple things. I want to grab my book, grab my second book. It's called Being Your Own Superstar: How to Expand Your Love Capacity. As a woman entrepreneur, you need to build a very robust inner game. It doubles as a guidebook inside. I have a daily practice in there. It only takes 30 minutes every morning, which right now, as a woman entrepreneur, you're like, that's a lot of time. And it's not when you're building an empire, right? Because you got to have a really strong inner game to stand out there in the spotlight and have everyone basically, when you're growing a business and you're getting more influence, people are just loving on you. That's what it is. And this is what I learned working in the Hollywood entertainment business with superstars out there. I talk a lot about my Hollywood in there too. Also, to grab a free BeLive live stream if you want to get into the live stream world and start your own show. It's free. They have a trial run over there. I'll put the link in the comment section too. I love it. It works great for me. So, give it a spin, and it's simple. It's really simple, and that's why I use it, but it's also robust. It's robust. I want to thank you all for joining me today. Don't forget about the swag. So all you need to do is just put a comment in the comment section of an aha that you took away from Jodi's show today, because I know there's just so many beautiful ahas in there. And or a comment about voiceover actor, and if you know one, right? Because you do now, Jodi. So I'd love for you to do that. But join me for another episode of Superstar Women Entrepreneur Spotlight with Joey next Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific Coast Time and 10 a.m. Central Coast Time. And I always, always end it like this. It is your birthright as a superstar entrepreneur to stand in your spotlight and shine bright. Women entrepreneurs out there, you are a superstar. So own it. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. And I appreciate you. Until next time, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. You can learn more about me, my products, and services at joeyg113.com. Make sure to join me for another episode every Wednesday at 8 a.m. Pacific Coast Time on my globally recognized show, SWE Spotlight with Joie.